get through nursing school. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper on this video because I feel like on that video I didn't really like get deeper into it. I want to start by saying that I started my nursing journey like in a bachelor's program, and I didn't know anything about nursing. I didn't know anything. And at the time, YouTube was not like the shit, even though I was still a YouTuber, but YouTube was not the shit. And you know what's funny? I always start things when it's not the shit. I feel like I'm ahead of my time sometimes. Um, yeah, so um, yeah, so I didn't go into details. First tip I want to say is like you should try to like be a CNA, like get into CNA school or get into a job program that can teach you how to be a CNA. Like I'm sure there are a lot of programs where you work for them for a year. Well, you can work for them for a year and then they will pay for your CNA license. Um, yeah. So, but that's the first tip. The second tip I want to say is even if you have family members, it's good to have family members in the field. I didn't have anybody at the time. I didn't have anyone who was doing nursing or who was a nurse. So if you know somebody who's in a nursing program, ask questions. Um, is very important. That was the second tip. The third tip is to subscribe to Nurse Sarah on YouTube. I think her name is registerednursRN.com. Subscribe to her channel. She's the best. I think she's the one. I want to say like other than one of my professors in school, she was really the one who taught me like the entire nursing course. Um, yeah, except one of my Asian professors who thinks like me. Um, yeah. So another tip I want to say is to review and read your chapters before you go to class. It's not always going to be possible to read them, but it's important at least watch Nurse Sarah's videos on YouTube before you go to class so that you can kind of like you're not going to be completely clueless in class, and you're going to be able to pay attention. Sorry guys, I'm going to get my water. You're going to be able to pay attention in class and focus on what the professor is talking about, like the concepts that the professor repeats, you will understand so that you will know that okay, I'm sure this is going to be on the exam. You're going to start like picking things up. The other thing I want to say is before everything, you want to brush up on your A&P. The prerequisites is there's a reason we do them. We just don't do prerequisites because we need to get them done. Prerequisites actually help you excel in class. Like A&P, for example, A&P, I want to say if you're in the bachelor's program or in the RN program, A&P is going to help you with your physical assessment. Like if you get your A&P, it will help with that. A&P also is going to help you with med-surg. A&P tells you what is the normal, and med-surg kind of goes into the abnormal. The other thing I want to say is to know your algebra. There's a reason why we do prerequisites algebra and dimensional analysis. So, some schools ask to do Chem 108 in some schools and Chem 107 in some schools. In some other schools, it's Chem 101 and Chem 102. There's a reason why we do those, because we're doing math in nursing that is similar to what we do math in chem that is similar to what we do in nursing school. So if your school does not require those chem classes or algebra, just go on YouTube and search for like nursing math questions and do them on your own. It would definitely help you out. Yeah, so that's what that is. And the other thing I want to say is after reading and going in class and highlighting what the professor is talking about over and over, you will notice she will talk about them in different words, in different terms, but then it's like the same concept that she's going over and over. You want to review your notes again after class, like let's say 3 hours or 1 hour after class. Just take 1 hour in your day and review your notes. and also take practice questions. When I was in my bachelor's program, I think one of the reasons why I didn't really do well is because I didn't do any practice questions. I just started out would do the same thing that I did in my pre-nursing course, which is just read and that's it. But like in nursing school, we actually have to do practice questions because the way the questions are different than, like, you know, the way regular pre-nursing courses are. In some ways, I feel they don't really prepare us for nursing school really, because they don't teach you that, okay, like you're gonna be tested differently. And the other thing, you know, they kept saying like, oh, critical thinking skills. I feel like they should really explain what they mean by critical thinking skills. From what I'm gathering of from, because I did really well in med surg in my LPN program and in pharmacology. From what I really understood from what they mean by critical thinking skills is being able to, you know, to be swoop up and down, like being able to be flexible, being able to think outside the box, and yeah, so pretty much like, you know, there's a gray area, like it's not always black and white type of thing, because I mean, the way I am is like right or wrong. Like, you know, there's a right way of doing things and there's a wrong way of doing things. But in nursing, there's so many ways of getting things done. There's a traditional way that people have always been doing it. There's the way that like the scientific people think is correct, the correct way of doing it. There's the way that you yourself come up with, and as long as it brings you up to the same result, you know, like that's what nursing is. It's never like, it's never, and that's also one of the things, I'm sorry I'm going off tangent, but that's one of the things that I learned in nursing is like you have to be flexible. And I was even speaking to one of my doctors, going back to the whole critical thinking. My doctor, I was just so like, you know, because I'm a nurse, so I had a little headache, so I was like, oh my god, it could be this, it could be that. I was thinking about the worst possible thing. I think my doctor was like, you know, this doesn't always work with one person. If it doesn't work with you, you can try this other thing. If it doesn't work with you, you can try this other thing. Every therapy, you know, therapy is not only one way. You know, therapy works in multiple ways. It's not only like one route. It's not only like one right thing. You know, there's not what one right answer when it comes to critical thinking skill. It's like depending on what the situation is, depending on what the weather is at the time, depending on your mood, you know. So it's never like A or B. Um, like in A&P is like, okay, the organ, the heart is here, you know, the aortic valve is, you know, is at the second intercostal space. That's just where it is. Um, Sorry, I went on that, but it's very important to really understand what they mean by critical thinking skills. It's pretty much being flexible, being creative, being thinking outside the box. Because even at work, you're gonna have to think outside the box. Um, so another tip I want to say is to find like-minded people. This is like a very, very, very important tip, to find like-minded people, to find people who are serious just like you. Um, because, you know, I want to tell you guys also, I want to tell you guys an example from my example. I came into nursing school just like I went into my other degrees. Like I was like, I mean, I knew it was serious, but I was just like, oh, you know, just read whatever. But then I met this one of my classmates. She had a child. She had two children. And she was like, you know, I'm not gonna say her entire life here, but she had two children and she was alone, taking care of her children, and she was in school. And I just saw the way she was reading, and she was really like paying attention to, like, she was really, really, really reading. She was into the text, you know. I think I had forgotten that from my previous bachelor's degree, pre-nursing degree, because I was like, what's the point of studying like that if I'm still gonna fail? But when I saw that, I was like, damn, like, you know, no wonder I got a 75 for my second exam. That's because I was not studying, you know. Yeah, so find like-minded people, people who are serious just like you, people who want to succeed. It's very important to keep you motivated, because even me, in my pediatric, on one of my pediatric exam, I wasn't too good with it because I don't have any children and stuff. But then when I met with, but my classmates were like, Charlene, Sonia, you can do this. You can do this. Like, what do you mean? Like, you can do this? And then, that was one of my worst exam grades. But when I spoke to them, they were really like, really motivating. Like, we got this. We can do this. They were really, really like, they pushed me. They really pushed me so much that, I thought even different. I studied differently than the way I used to study, because I didn't have enough time to study, and I really got a 90 on the next exam. So it's very important to find people who understand the way you think, understand the way you study, because I noticed also that I was ahead of my class, like in the way I was thinking. So when I would speak to some people, they would be like, stop, you're overthinking everything. Like, stop, you don't need to worry about that. It's not like you're getting a PhD, or anything like that. So, but then when I met these other people, they were like, oh, right, Charlene. Oh, I remember what you said a month ago. Wow, now it makes sense. I understand where you're coming from. So they really understood the way I was thinking. Even if they didn't understand, they wouldn't say I'm stupid. They would really try to understand what I'm trying to tell them, because they were not really where I was already. Like I said. So another really important tip is to eat well. It's really not always possible to eat well in nursing school. So take your vitamins. It will really help you with your memory too. Exercise if you can. I didn't always do this towards the end of my program because I had no time. Try to sleep well. At the beginning of my nursing career, I was going to bed at 10 p.m., at most 12 a.m. But like towards the end, like med surge and all that, I was going to bed at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Sometimes I wouldn't sleep and still take the exams. So yeah, nursing school, you have to be flexible. It teaches you to be really flexible. Another big tip I want to say is, like when you're reading your textbook, try to make connections. Like, and it's very important. Like right now, I'll do the same thing. I know I'm talking about the LPM program, but I'll do the same thing in my RM program. It's very important. I haven't really done it again yet, to know the foundation. Like really study the foundation of nursing really well. Like know the minimum, like those little things, like pay attention to what will kill the patient. Know your how to change grams to milligrams and things like that. Know like the normal, like in fundamentals they teach you the normal, like normal urine sample, like the color, what it's supposed to look like, things like that. How often should you go to the bathroom to urinate? What's the normal color of your stool? How often should you reposition a client? Those things are important. And also like even the crutches, and how far to insert an enema, a physical asset. All those things is really important to give you a baseline, so that when you get into med surge, it's gonna be like the abnormal. You're gonna know the abnormal, like what's not right, what's not correct. Yeah, and the other thing I want to tell you guys is, one thing I've noticed, because like I said, to notice patterns, is that everything in the body, when it's abnormal, is either gonna go up or down. So your patient is either gonna be like hyper excited, like happy, or or gonna they're gonna go down. They're gonna be sluggish. They're gonna, like, the stools are gonna go. You're gonna be constipated. It's either gonna go high or low. So pay attention when you're studying. Even like I haven't studied yet again for like calcium. I forgot what hypercalcemia is, but you're gonna notice that I think with hypercalcemia there's constipation. So I think for hypercalcemia things slow down. For hyperkalemia too, things slow down. So you want to start noticing those things, because there's just way too much to study into this program. It's virtually impossible to memorize the signs and symptoms. So you want to notice those little details so that like you can notice patterns, so that you have a map in your head rather than chaos, like, oh, I need to know this, I need to know this, I need to know this. Rather try to see how everything come together, like, you know, the big picture. Know the details and see the big picture, so that you don't have to kill yourself trying to memorize every single detail. Because even on the test, they're not gonna give you like the signs and symptoms that you memorized. So alright guys, so that's the video for you guys. I hope you like it. I hope this one was a little bit more in depth. Yeah, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to cover. Yeah, so in all guys, if you get into nursing school, you have to have an open mind, you have to be open-minded, you have to think outside the box. And for me, like I said, I'm like an A type of person. I'm like, this is the right way to do things, this is the way I do things. But in nursing school, you have to really like, you know, nursing school, things are always changing. In nursing, people are changing. It's kind of like technology, you know, things are always changing. So you have to go with the flow, and you have to really understand how everything is connected together. Alright, thank you for watching my video. I'm gonna post it now. I can't really edit it. Alright, peace out, bye.